Hi, my name is Karthik and you're watching my channel. And in this session, we'll learn how we can create a Blazor application. So this is the demo actually. So this is already I created. So this one will create it for you as well. We'll learn how we can create and what would the prerequisition for that. And in this demo, we'll show like we'll create a WebAssembly Blazor for WebAssembly model, but in next session we'll create for Blazor for server side model. So let's get started. So open the Visual Studio and just Visual Studio first. If you go here, okay, just create a new project and choose here Blazor. Okay, there is a many way. Like you can search direct over here. It is a Visual Studio 2022. So you can search from here as well. So there is a C. There is a two type of model of the Blazor. There is a Blazor server app and Blazor WebAssembly. So today we're going to discuss about Blazor WebAssembly. That Blazor server app also will create in the later and all. And the third model is also there the .NET MAUI with Blazor. So that also will create a next session, upcoming next session. So yes, so what is that Blazor? So first we have to know about some Blazor things. So companies that build web apps commonly hire developers for the different roles. Okay, so some developers create backend server side logic, other build client side web apps. So these developers often use different development languages and technology. So C Sharp and Microsoft.NET are popular choice for building server sides logics, but client side apps are often building with web UI framework. So which commonly use JavaScript. The use of the multiple languages and toolset requirement multiple set of skill and often requires two separate teams. Also code to transfer and represent data must be built in both language and keep in sync. So in this unit actually, uh, what we can do, we have introduced that Blazor. Okay, so and what is the Blazor over here then? Now Blazor apps are composed of the reusable web UI component built using C Sharp, HTML and C Sharp and CSS. With Blazor, to developer can build a client and server code with C Sharp. They can also share code and libraries with the front end client code and back end logic. Using C Sharp for all code simplified sharing data between the front end and back end. Code reuse to clear development and maintenance. So there is a two model also we discussed, like we can create a two different application in Blazor, like first a server app and a Blazor WebAssembly. So if I talk about first what is the Blazor, first just create a okay, so first we have to know about that what is the WebAssembly. So WebAssembly is short form is a WASM WASM. I think it is if I pronounce correct, WASM is an open binary standard. It is defined a portable code format for programs designs to run in web. A browser WebAssembly is the textual assembly language which is a compact binary format for fast download and near native performance. WebAssembly provide a completions target for language such as C, C++, and Rust. It is designed to run alongside JavaScript so that both work together. WebAssembly also can generate progressive web app application to download and run offline. We'll show in the demo as well. So so in this case, what is that? The next is what is the Blazor WebAssembly? So with the Blazor WebAssembly, developer can run code in a browser. Okay, so when I create this application, so when you run this application, you can see the all about code will run in your browser. There is nothing required any server. Okay, so so it's a single page app framework that use a WebAssembly open standard without requirement plugins or code generation. So .NET code execute via WebAssembly in the browser, run in the browser is JavaScript sandbox. The code include all the security and protection that the sandbox provides. The includes helps prevent m- malicious actions on the client machines. So Blazor use .NET runtime compiled to the WebAssembly, a model that is downloaded with an app. The module can execute .NET standard code included in the Blazor app. A Blazor WebAssembly is a restrict to the compatibility of the browser that executes the apps, but the app can access full browser functionality via JavaScript interrupt. And now Blazor WebAssembly support many browsers. So for example, if we talk about Microsoft Edge, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, and Apple Safari as well. So let's get started how we can create that WebAssembly project. So if you choose this template, this model, okay, and just I think my skin is very high, so okay, just select this one. And there's a many way actually you can create a your WebAssembly project via Visual Studio as well, also BS Code as well. Okay, and also command line you can create that. So in this session I'll create via Visual Studio. If you face any issue for other mechanisms, so you can just mention in my comment section so that I can help you. Okay, and just next, okay, just send Blazor, just put any name, Blazor Bezam. Okay, and just next. Also you can choose as per your framework install in your machine. So as of now it is a current actually standard is .NET 7, but yeah, previous going at .NET 8. So I'll choose .NET 7. Also there's an option like, okay, if you want to progressive web app, so just check this guy. And if you want to https, so you can check. Also here's the option I like, okay, you want to core hosted model. So this will talk about later, not this session. So we'll create another one with this core hosted model, but as of now is one. Also it is a don't use the top level statement. Okay, there's another options, so we can skip also this one. So just select, okay, and just create it. Okay, and it will create and restore all the stuff, all the dependencies. Okay, okay, so here now it's creating successfully. Okay, and it's see it's look like our project architecture. It is a normally is a .NET Core application actually, and .NET Core or also MVC, we can say the MVC. So see, first we have talk about that architecture, how is that architecture working. Okay, so if you see that first program, it is a program.cs file. So in this program.cs file you can see some of the dependencies over there. We can store we can resolve our dependency service, all the services we can resolve, services register over here. Okay, also finally it's called actually root component, just add dot app, no app component. So where is that app component? You can see this is app component. So in this app component you can see it is a router assembly. Okay, the router assembly call that app component, and here is the two section. One is found and one is not found. If any route found, so it will show, and it will call this main layout. If it is not there, then it will say okay, not found. So call this main layout. Okay, route data, it's a route data whatever I send it. So call it's a main layout. If you go to main layout, it is actually under, should under here. Okay, so if you go to main layout, so See, this is a main layout section. In this main layout section, you are able to see, two section again. Like there's a sidebar also, and the main details also. Main part. So side div actually show the navigation. Actually, it is called again in the component of nav component. But in main, it's called actually that whatever ever on our component call that will be render over here actually. Suppose I call any a counter page and I call an other component, so that will call and redirect to here actually. So this is actual overall flow. And now let's talk about little bit of the architecture again, for that what are the content. Okay, so if I talk about for the property, actually this is a launcher setting file. So this contain actually whatever your settings based on the environment while running your application, what are the settings you record. So we can set over here. Also this is the dependencies part. So whatever the dependencies about here, see, in this WebAssembly project Blazor, it is dependent actually WebAssembly, WebAssembly package. So it's contain also, and it's download also. See, the web route is actually contain all the static files, CSS, images, all the static files we are containing over here. Actually it's a root folder. Also pages, so there is a pages folder where we can store our components. Okay, and one more folder over here, shared folder. So this is shared folder, so that this shared can share all the cross application. So because it is a commonly used component, so we can store in a shared folder. So these are all about the structure. So let's run the application and see how's look like. Okay, it's running. Okay, it's running perfectly. Now see, there's a three component and three navbar also. We set by default it's provided home, counter, and see, counter click, also click event over there. Once I click, so it is increasing. Also if we fetch data, actually it is trying to fetch the data via the via call the service. So it is a you know generating, by default is generating some algorithm. Based on the algorithm is getting the data. Okay, so we talk about that one also. So if, okay, then also I'll talk about some, press F12 and go to network tab and just refresh again. Okay, just continue and go to network tab again. See what are the you know uh, step are loading and how much is load. Like see, the 1.3 MB is loaded. Also see the Blazor WebAssembly. Yes, see, the WebAssembly is all the step is loading, so that actually our code convert in the JavaScript, and the JavaScript talk about this browser. So like this way actually it's working. Okay, now go to again our applications. Okay, now talk about something, the razor component. So these are the components. So what is the razor component? So uh, a razor is a markup. Razor is a markup syntax that use the HTML. Okay, is the HTML and C sharp. You can see the both are is there one component. Okay, so razor is base is the ASP.NET, and designed for the creating web apps. Okay, so these are the razor. Okay, and if I talk about what is the razor component, so razor component basically a razor file defined component that make up to protection of the app UI. Components in the Blazor are analogized to user control ASP.NET web form. If you are explore the project, you can see that most files are .NET, razor files in this here. So already I shown you. See all the C dot razor stuff. Okay, so at compile time, each razor component is built into a .NET class. The class include common UI elements like state, rendering, logic, lifecycle, method, all the handlers. Okay. Okay, now try, how our counter is, our click event is working. Okay, so if I go to here, so see there's an increment section. Okay, and this is a button, this is a one button, and I call on click, and one I define on click, and I click that on click, and it is I define one property as well, and this property actually increase one by one when I click. Okay, so like this way actually it is working. Okay, also if I see the router, this is a router, how we can define the route. Like if I navigation, if we go to navigation, not this one, see navigation. So I define, I create a component, and in component I set as the now page directive. Okay, so what is the page directive? It is a set of the route. So my component call how like that is a counter, so is a base address, it is a base, and then our component. So when you click that one, so it will call and render in our main layout. And so like this is the flow already discussed. So and also when you click on click, so it is increment. Okay, so this is all about that increment. Okay, and also if you see the main index, so it actually it is a first component which is loading by default in our years, not here. So this is a main component. So main components we set it is actually index component. Okay, so this index component nothing, just a pure HTML, and this is a pure HTML. Also the Visual Studio to 7, I think 6 introduced that the hot reload stuff. So if I show you just part by part, separate this to one place, so that I we can see like our hot reload is working and fine, working is not, working is not. So like for example, hello friend, this is examples of Blazor Bazam. Okay, and just save. If I save, see automatically tick signs over there also, it's fine. Okay, it is actually we can say like uh, reflecting. Okay, so also see in this component, in the main component, I can call the another component, so there's a flexibility over here. Okay, so okay, and now I need to add another component here, that counter component. So if I just, we have another component, shown you, right? So I can call that component here, so counter, I can counter and then slash this. So when I call this counter, see counter component also loaded, and it is working as expected. Different behavior means I call this component in this page, so it is a step maintain the state as per this component, and if you go, so it will maintain a state in this component. So there's a very nice features of the Blazor. Okay, and also I'm trying to modify this component. So let's go to counter component. Okay, so the two place I can work the different behavior. So what I will do, I just I want to some input parameter, so that my component can send the some input parameter, and we can set some logic over here. So just public, because it is a share, will share this component with this variable, so it should be make a public. So public int and increment, for example increment count. Okay, so just increment and get set, get and set. And so there is actually some shortcut. I shown you the shortcut also. I think it will support or not. Okay, top. Oh, this one is not working here. But yeah, this is a C# feature. It should work. Okay, leave it that part. Okay, just stop this guy as of now. Oh my god, what happened? Okay, so okay, I mistake something. Okay, so when I set this increment component, okay, and if I pass some input, so definitely I have to set, it is a Blazor concept, I have to set set parameters actually. So parameters, okay, so I set some parameters so that it's allowed to that also I need to modify this increment with this here. So whatever increment I pass, so just increase here. Okay, so okay, let's run again. And before run, what I will do, okay, well, just run, then we can modify. And again, just split two part and application and your code so that we can see what is happening. So go to index. Okay, this is a one component. Okay, this one we can say h1. Okay, it is h1, and this is without parameter. Okay, and now I'll pass with parameter. So copy, paste, and here I can pass that parameter. See, once I step, so it allow me, okay, this component has also no parameter. It is a parameter component, so I can pass it 10. So in this component, okay, this component, see, this is without parameter and this is with parameter. Okay, so just save it. So this is with parameter. Oh, oh, wrong one. So this is parameter, this is with parameter. Okay, so this parameter, okay, so this one is working as a previously whatever without passing parameter, so it is expecting, okay, increase only one by one. But in this component, see, same component, but I pass an increment parameter, so this should be increment 10. See, so this is actually behavior of the Blazor. Okay, so these are all about in this session. Okay, in next session we'll talk about how we can bind the data and element also. And we can talk about how we can this is see, this is in the same file actually we'll create a HTML as well as the code. Okay, but here's the some flexibility as well, like we can separate our code behind, we can create a code behind file as well, so that our logic should not be there, we can separate over there. So there's a two way we can discuss in our next video session. Okay, one thing I forget to describe, actually we talk about home counter, but we forget about discuss about the fetch, how actually fetch one is working. So go to solutions and go to fetch data. Okay, fetch data razor component. See, we are calling injecting service. This is http client, and this http client actually call our service, like in our api, we can just call, it is a sample one, but yeah, we can call our api in client side as well. Okay, so directly we can call our api and we can render the data. And it is here, it is a static json file will create actually in our here. If you go to web root and if you go to the sample data, see, this is that sample data. Okay, so this one we are calling over the http call. Okay, so yes. So here just call over here and store the data, and this is stored data actually just looping through, we are actually retrieving over here. That's it. That is all about all the Blazor WebAssembly. So thank you. Have a nice day.